And we're just learning that 3 service members, according to CENTCOM, have been U.S. service members have been killed.
War in the Middle East intensifying, with the entire region now seemingly under attack.
At 3:47 local time, a single encrypted burst transmission leaves the IRGC's Imam Ali missile base in the Kermanshah province of western Iran. It is 14 characters long. It contains no coordinates, no targeting data, no operational language. It is a name, a title, technically, and it means the supreme leader of the Islamic Republic of Iran is dead. The message arrives at 17 different command nodes simultaneously. 14 of them begin executing pre-planned succession protocols that have been rehearsed in some form since 2012. 2 of them go dark within 90 seconds, later attributed to local commanders unsure whose authority they now answer to. One of them, a naval intelligence node at Bandar Abbas overlooking the Strait of Hormuz, does something no one in Tehran authorized. It contacts Beijing, not through diplomatic channels, not through the foreign ministry's overnight desk, through a military-to-military communication link that, according to every public statement from both governments, does not exist. The timestamp on that transmission is 0351. 4 minutes after a country of 88 million people lost the man who held its political, military, and religious authority in a single fist. What happens in the next 6 hours will cost the United States Navy $2.3 billion to respond to. The thing that provokes this response costs China approximately $4.7 million. But this story is not about money. Not really. It is about a window, a gap measured in hours between when one country loses its leader and when the world figures out what that means, and the one military that had been planning for years to climb through it. Commander Elaine Vargas is a tactical action officer aboard the USS Bataan, an LHD-5 Wasp-class amphibious assault ship currently positioned in the Gulf of Oman, approximately 140 nautical miles southeast of the Strait of Hormuz. She has been on watch for 2 hours. Her coffee is cold. The ambient hum of the ship's combat information center is the sound of 19 people staring at screens that, for the last 11 days, have shown nothing more threatening than commercial tanker traffic and the occasional Iranian fast-attack craft running coastal patrol routes. At 0358, her screen changes. The initial report is fragmentary, signals intelligence from an NSA relay, routed through 5th Fleet headquarters in Bahrain. The gist? Iranian internal military communications have spiked 4,000% in the last 7 minutes. Pattern analysis suggests a decapitation event. No external attack detected. Likely natural causes or internal action. Vargas does what her training demands. She calls the ship's captain. She requests a posture shift from Emin Delta to Emin Bravo. She orders her air warfare coordinator to spin up the Batan's AN-VES PS-4080 three-dimensional air search radar from standby to active sweep. She has the surface warfare team begin tracking every Iranian vessel within 200 nautical miles. These are correct decisions. Every one of them is correct. They are also exactly what Beijing expects her to do. To understand what China does at 0357 local time, 10 minutes after the first burst transmission, 6 minutes before Vargas's screen lights up, you have to understand a ship called the Haiyang Digi-26. Officially, the Haiyang Digi-26 is an oceanographic survey vessel. It is 104 meters long, displaces roughly 6,900 tons, and operates under the flag of the China Geological Survey, a civilian agency under the Ministry of Natural Resources. It has been conducting what Beijing describes as deep-sea mineral sampling operations in the northern Arabian Sea for the past 3 weeks. Its AIS transponder has been broadcasting continuously. It has responded politely to every radio query from coalition naval patrols. It looks, to every sensor and every satellite, like exactly what it claims to be. It is not what it claims to be. The Haiyang Digi-26 carries, below its main deck survey laboratory, a modular deployment system for the HSU-001, China's largest known unmanned undersea vehicle. The HSU-001 is roughly 5 meters long, battery-powered, capable of sustained speeds around 4 to 6 knots, with an estimated operational range of 500 nautical miles. Its exact sensor suite is classified, but open-source analysis of PLA Navy exercise photographs suggests it carries side-scan sonar, electromagnetic sensors, and a signals intelligence package capable of passively monitoring submarine communications at close range. The unit cost of an HSU-001, based on publicly available PLA procurement documents analyzed by the Center for Strategic and International Studies, is estimated at $800,000 to $1.2 million per unit. At 0357, the Haiyang Digi-26 deploys 4 of them. Not toward the Strait of Hormuz. Not toward the USS Bataan. Not toward any American surface vessel. toward the underwater approaches to the joint US-UK naval support facility at Duqm, Oman, the deep water port that, since 2018, has served as the primary logistics and maintenance hub for American carrier strike groups operating in the Arabian Sea. The port where, at this exact moment, the USS Dwight D. Eisenhower Carrier Strike Group is conducting a scheduled maintenance availability. The port where approximately $14 billion worth of American naval aviation is sitting pierside with its air wings stood down for maintenance. 4 unmanned vehicles. Total cost, roughly $4 million. Their target's replacement value, incalculable. The genius of this timing is not technological. It is psychological. At 0400 local time, every American intelligence analyst, every watch officer, every flag-level decision-maker in CENTCOM's area of responsibility is doing the same thing, staring at Iran. And they should be. The death of a supreme leader in a theocratic state with ballistic missiles, proxy militaries across 4 countries, and an active nuclear enrichment program is, by any rational analysis, the most important event in the Middle East since the fall of Baghdad. Every satellite is being retasked. Every SIGINT platform is being redirected. Every human intelligence asset is being activated. The entire $58 billion annual American intelligence apparatus is pointed at one country like a flashlight beam, and in the darkness outside the beam, 4 Chinese robots the size of compact cars are gliding through water at walking speed toward the most important naval logistics facility in the theater. Captain Marcus Webb commands the Eisenhower. He is not aboard. He is at the Duqm Port Facilities Operations Center, overseeing the maintenance schedule, because when a carrier is pierside with half its propulsion plant opened up for turbine inspections, the captain's job becomes engineering management. Webb has commanded the Eisenhower for 14 months. He has taken the ship through 2 Strait of Hormuz transits, one of them under active drone threat from Houthi forces in Yemen. He is not a man who startles easily. At 0412, he receives the same fragmentary intelligence Vargas received 14 minutes earlier. Supreme leader possibly dead. Iranian military in upheaval. All CENTCOM assets elevated to Force Protection Condition Bravo. Webb's immediate problem is simple and terrible. His ship cannot move. The Eisenhower's No. 2 main engine is physically disassembled. Reassembly to minimum operational capability requires 18 hours under optimal conditions. His air wing has 11F divided by a -18E divided by F Super Hornets in various stages of maintenance. 5 could potentially be made flyable within 2 hours. The rest are spread across Duqm's hangar facilities with panels open and avionics pulled. He has a carrier that cannot sail and an air wing that is mostly aluminum sculpture. His entire defensive posture depends on the Arleigh Burke-class destroyer USS Gravely, DDG-107, which is providing pierside force protection with its Aegis combat system active. The Gravely carries 96 cells in its Mark 41 vertical launching system. Its AN/SPY-1D radar can track over 100 targets simultaneously. Against an air or missile threat, the Gravely is formidable. Against 4 battery-powered UUVs running silent at 4 knots, 60 meters below the surface, the Gravely's billion-dollar radar is staring at the sky while the threat comes from the basement. What Commander Vargas does not know, what no one in the American chain of command knows at this moment, is that the HSU-001S are not carrying weapons. This is the part of the story that matters. This is where every assumption about what China wants inverts itself. The 4 UUVs are carrying sensor packages. Specifically, they are deploying a network of passive acoustic monitoring nodes along the underwater approach channels to Duqm. Each node is roughly the size of a fire extinguisher. Battery life, estimated 18 months. Capability, continuous recording of acoustic signatures, propeller cavitation patterns, hull resonance frequencies, machinery noise of every vessel that enters or exits the port. In submarine warfare, an acoustic signature is a fingerprint. If you have the exact acoustic profile of a submarine, you can identify it from miles away, track it through deep water, and predict its operating patterns. The United States Navy spends billions of dollars ensuring its submarines' acoustic signatures remain classified. The Virginia-class fast attack submarine, at $3.4 billion per hull, derives roughly 40% of its tactical advantage from how quiet it is. That quietness is meaningless if someone has a recording of exactly what it sounds like at various speeds and depths. China is not trying to sink anything at Duqm. China is trying to listen. And they have been waiting, perhaps for years, for a moment when every American eye would be looking somewhere else. At 0430, the first indication that something is wrong comes not from the US Navy, but from the Royal Navy of Oman. A coastal patrol vessel, the RNOV Al-Seeb, a Carif-class corvette conducting routine patrol of Duqm's outer anchorage, detects an anomalous sonar contact at bearing 185, range 12 nautical miles. The contact is slow, deep, and intermittent. The Al-Seeb sonar operator, trained at the Royal Navy Submarine School at HMS Raleigh in the UK, classifies it as probable marine life. He is not wrong to make this classification. The HSU-001's acoustic signature at patrol speed is estimated at under 100 decibels, roughly equivalent to a large grouper. The UUV was designed to sound like biology. The ocean is full of biology. This is the first layer of China's planning. The second layer is timing. The Al-Seeb sonar operator logs the contact and continues his patrol. Under normal circumstances, this contact would be cross-referenced with the port's underwater surveillance system, a network of fixed hydrophones monitored by a joint US-Omani team at the port facility. But at 0430 on this particular morning, that team is processing a Priority 1 intelligence tasking from CENTCOM, acoustic monitoring of Iranian submarine activity in response to the leadership crisis. The team's bandwidth is allocated. Iran has 3 Kilo-class submarines, Russian-built, diesel-electric, each capable of carrying Test 71 wire-guided torpedoes with a range of 20 kilometers. Finding those submarines right now is, by every rational priority assessment, more important than investigating a contact that an Allied corvette classified as a fish. This is the third layer. China did not hack anything. China did not jam anything. China did not need to. They simply created a scenario in which every correct decision, made by every competent professional, using every functioning system, would produce a gap exactly where they needed one. The UUVs do not need to avoid detection. They need to avoid classification. In a world where every sensor operator has more threats than attention, looking harmless is better than being invisible. At 0514, the Haiyang Digi-26 does something that, in hindsight, is the single most audacious element of the entire operation. It sends a routine position report via its AIS transponder and simultaneously transmits a weather data packet to the China Meteorological Administration satellite CMA-1. This packet, intercepted and logged by the NSA's Pine Gap facility in Australia, is flagged as routine civilian meteorological data. Embedded within the packet, using a steganographic encoding method that will not be identified for another 11 days, is the confirmation signal that all 4 UUV deployment routes are clear and sensor node placement is proceeding on schedule. The signal passes through American intelligence infrastructure. It is logged. It is stored. It is not flagged. It is a weather report. Captain Webb, at 0520, makes the decision that defines his morning. He requests emergency sortie authorization for the Eisenhower. Not because he believes his ship is under direct threat. The intelligence picture shows an internal Iranian crisis, not an external attack, but because CENTCOM standing orders require any carrier in a maintenance availability to begin emergency reconstitution procedures whenever Force Protection Condition Bravo is declared in theater. This means waking up 2,800 sailors. It means recalling maintenance teams from shore facilities. It means beginning the 18-hour process of reassembling a propulsion plant that was scheduled to be open for another 6 days. It means pulling 11 aircraft out of maintenance bays and beginning the painstaking process of reinstalling avionics, running system checks, and loading ordnance. The cost of an emergency reconstitution, including parts expedited from Bahrain, overtime labor, cancelled maintenance procedures that will need to be rescheduled, and the fuel and operational costs of an early departure from port, totals approximately $47 million. This figure comes from a 2023 Government Accountability Office report on unscheduled carrier deployment costs. Webb does not hesitate. The decision is automatic. Doctrine demands it. And it is doctrine that China was counting on. Because every hour the Eisenhower spends reassembling itself is an hour its underwater surveillance capabilities, its helicopters, its towed array sonar, its submarine escort, remain offline. The carrier's MH-60R Seahawk helicopters, equipped with AN/VQS-22 dipping sonar capable of detecting a submarine at ranges up to 8 nautical miles, are sitting in a hangar bay with their rotor heads disconnected. The Fox is in the henhouse. The guard dog is being reassembled in the garage. At 0615, the first HSU-001 reaches its designated deployment point, a seamount 4 nautical miles south of Duckham's main shipping channel at a depth of 87 meters. It releases its first acoustic monitoring node. The node settles onto the ocean floor, extends a small antenna array, and begins listening. Its first recording will be the acoustic signature of the Al-Seeb's propellers as the corvette passes overhead on its return patrol leg at 0622. By 0700, all 4 UUVs have deployed a total of 16 nodes in a semicircular array covering every viable approach to Duckham's deepwater berths. The nodes are positioned to create overlapping acoustic coverage, a technique the PLA Navy refers to as golden ears in translated doctrinal texts published by the Naval Research Institute in Beijing. By 0730, the UUVs begin their return transit to the Haiyang Digi-26. Their batteries have consumed approximately 40% of their charge. They will be recovered, recharged, and stored below decks within 6 hours. The survey vessel will continue its publicly announced mineral sampling program for another 9 days before departing the Arabian Sea through the Strait of Malacca, its AIS transponder broadcasting every mile of the way. No weapon was fired. No system was jammed. No territorial water was violated. The nodes were placed in international waters adjacent to Oman's exclusive economic zone. No treaty was technically broken. At 0900, the American intelligence community reaches consensus. Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, supreme leader of the Islamic Republic of Iran, has died of cardiac arrest. He was 85 years old. The succession crisis that follows will consume the attention of CENTCOM, the CIA, the State Department, and the National Security Council for the next 47 days. During those 47 days, 17 American and Allied submarines will transit through Duqm's approaches. Every one of them will pass over China's acoustic array. Every propeller turn, every hull resonance, every reactor coolant pump vibration will be recorded, encrypted by the node's onboard processors, and stored for later retrieval. The retrieval method is, like everything else in this operation, mundane to the point of invisibility. 3 months later, a Chinese commercial fishing vessel will transit the area, trailing a deep water trawl net. The net will pass within 200 meters of the acoustic nodes. A short-range acoustic modem on each node, range approximately 500 meters, power output negligible, will upload its stored data to a receiver concealed in the trawl net's float line. The fishing vessel will continue to Salalah, offload its catch, and depart. The data will be in Beijing within a week. The cost of the 16 acoustic nodes, including deployment, approximately $700,000. The value of the acoustic signatures they will collect, signatures of Ohio-class ballistic missile submarines, Virginia-class attack submarines, and British Astute-class boats operating from Duqm, is, by any rational calculation, priceless. These are signatures that would cost billions to obtain through conventional espionage and might never be obtainable at all through technical collection. The United States has spent $128 billion on the Columbia-class submarine program, the most expensive weapons program in naval history, and a meaningful fraction of that cost is dedicated to making those boats acoustically undetectable. 16 fire extinguishers on the ocean floor could compromise all of it. Commander Vargas completes her watch at 0800. She has spent 4 hours monitoring Iranian military activity. She has tracked 11 Iranian fast attack craft sorties, 2 submarine departures from Bandar Abbas, and a surge of ballistic missile transporter erector launcher movements from IRGC bases in western Iran. She has done her job with precision and vigilance. Her watch log will be cited in the after-action review as exemplary. She never looks south. There is no reason to look south. The threat is north, in Iran, where it has always been. Everything she knows, everything her training has prepared her for, everything her sensors are designed to detect, confirms this. The threat that passes beneath her ship's keel at 0340 the following morning, a single HSU-001 on its return transit, running at 3 knots, 70 meters deep, does not appear on any screen in her Combat Information Center. The Batan's hull-mounted AN-VES-QS-53C sonar is in passive mode, listening for submarine threats. The HSU-001 sounds like a grouper. 11 days later, an NSA analyst at Fort Meade, Maryland, conducting a retrospective review of Chinese satellite communications during the Iran crisis, identifies the steganographic encoding in the Haiyang Digi-26 weather data packet. The finding is classified immediately. A joint Navy-NSA investigation is launched, codenamed. In the way these things are always codenamed, something innocuous that will never appear in public. The investigation will eventually reconstruct the operation in full. It will identify the UUV deployment. It will estimate the node's positions. It will calculate the potential intelligence value of the acoustic data collected. It will not recover the nodes. By the time a survey vessel reaches the deployment area, the node self-destruct timers, a standard feature described in PLA Navy doctrinal publications, will have corroded their casings with a small acid charge, scattering their components across the seafloor. What remains will be indistinguishable from marine debris. The investigation's final classified assessment, according to the structure of such documents, will contain a sentence that reduces the entire operation to its essential geometry. China spent $4.7 million and zero political capital to potentially compromise acoustic intelligence worth tens of billions of dollars, and they did it by waiting for a dying man's heart to stop. Captain Webb gets the Eisenhower out of Duqm in 22 hours, 4 hours over the emergency reconstitution target. The No. 2 main engine runs rough for 3 days until the engineering team completes calibration at sea. The total unscheduled cost of the early departure, $51.3 million, slightly above the GAO estimate because 2 turbine components had to be air freighted from Naval Station Norfolk at emergency logistics rates. He never learns about the acoustic nodes. His clearance is not read into the investigation. As far as Marcus Webb knows, the morning of the Supreme Leader's death was a long, expensive fire drill triggered by an old man's heart. The Haiyang Digi-26 completes its survey mission. It publishes 3 peer-reviewed papers on manganese nodule distribution in the Arabian Sea. The papers are, by all accounts, legitimate science. The data is real. The mineral samples are genuine. The ship that collected them just happened to also be carrying 4 robots and 16 microphones. And it just happened to deploy them on the one morning when the entire American intelligence community was looking the other way. Here is the number that will stay with you. An SM-2 Block IIA interceptor missile, the Graveless primary air defense weapon, costs $2.1 million per round. The Gravely carries up to 96 of them. They are designed to destroy aircraft and missiles traveling at speeds up to Mach 3.5 at ranges up to 90 nautical miles. They are among the most sophisticated weapons ever put to sea. They cannot hear a fire extinguisher. The 16 acoustic nodes that may have compromised America's undersea advantage in the Arabian Sea cost less, combined, than a single missile designed to protect against a threat that never came. At 0347 on a Tuesday morning, an old man's heart stopped. 10 minutes later, for machines that sound like fish began swimming toward a port where $14 billion sat waiting, guarded by $1 billion radar pointed at the sky. The ocean doesn't care about your radar. If you enjoyed this video, check out our other video on how China's underwater drone fleet is changing submarine warfare. Bye for now.